Anyway, hi, people. This is an episode of Bob's Book Reviews. I've done a couple of these before. You can find them in this playlist. But unlike the other ones, I will be talking a bit about how it affects my story, because it does. The book I'm writing. And I can't I can't escape it. I can't um say that it it didn't have an impact on my life. This book was very informative. It's about the search for the lost tomb of King Arthur by Graham Hancock. It's part of a book series. The other book is called, I think it might be called, um, Finding the Real Merlin or some such. We'll be doing that one too. Now, if the author's watching this, I want you to know I am really big into fantasy and books like Lord of the Rings and Prince Thorgel's War and other stuff like that. So to actually find out about how that period of time might have actually looked fascinates me too. Um, and he goes over that. He's he says things like that that the peasants might not have called him, or the people Arthur governed might not have called him Arthur, because TH sound hadn't been invented yet, and why his name is spelled different. It's all very fascinating stuff, or at least to me. It kind of felt like Oak Island, the book, toward the end, and I'm really big into the Oak Island. I watch that every week with my father. Um, we watch Oak Island together, and just again, I could picture him trying to find the the shield that might have belonged to Arthur, or finding the tomb, which he doesn't find in this book. Explaining how he hopes Arthur will be accepted one day as a real king, not just as something we made up. I can By the end of the book, I kind of want that too. Yeah. By the end of the book, I was totally on board. Um, but you have to go through an interesting maze to get to that end, because Arthur might not have actually been named Arthur, and his father might not have been called Uther Pendragon. I won't spoil it for you, but it was all very fascinating stuff. The only thing I really did in my story is, as always, add superheroes and have a time anomaly in that Merlin's court. He would have been smart enough that he would have been like, okay, yeah. It really fascinated me enough to read the next book. That fact that the one tourist trap that claims they're the Isle of Avalon might not actually be the Isle of Avalon fascinated me from the very beginning. I'm not going to spoil what the actual Isle of Avalon ends up being, but if the place claiming to be the Isle of Avalon still has that sign up, basically it tells you don't waste your money. It was very interesting, and how the monks would the monks fake that Arthur's skeleton in Glastonbury Abbey, and then it went into his relationship with Guinevere, which I've always been fascinated by the courtly love between Arthur and Guinevere and Sir Lancelot, which they didn't go a lot into, but they did say that Guinevere might have been three women, not just one woman. There's a there's a theory out there stating that one of them definitely belonged to the kingdom of Powys, which I picked up at the end is actually still a real place, because we've changed a lot of those places' names, kind of like how in Lord of the Rings that the hobbits' names aren't actually Frodo, Sam, or Pippin, but it's the closest approximation you got. Um, the YouTuber called Hello Future Me did a fascinating video on that. He's really big into Lord of the Rings. If if you're interested, go watch it. Um, yeah, but that happens in reality too, where words get changed and morphed into new words, and he covers that all in grave, very wonderful but deep detail. He doesn't say much about this one was primarily about Arthur. Merlin's lineage and his children, if he had any at all, I don't know, are presumably went over in the next book. Mom, is it under the couch? What? The next book in the series. We have a physical copy of that. I don't know. Anyway, if it is, I'll show it to you at the end. I when I was little, I picked up a book on King Arthur, and and how the fictional story might have came about. And I remember the librarian asking, "Do you want the fictional Arthur or the real Arthur?" Because I was supposed to do a report or something. I don't remember exactly how I ended up reading the book, but um, what I said was, "Is there any other kind?" And he said, "Yeah." And that was the first exposure that I had, that there was actually this argument out there that Arthur might have existed. It, it was kind of like that book, but for adults. You know, it was very point of fact. He knew a lot of stuff that I did not. I did not know. Okay, never mind, Mom. Um, at the end, he mentions that National Geographic gave him a special, and that they kind of slanted their view of his theory on their little agenda, which is kind of sad, but I could totally see them doing that in reality. No, big ass thing, right?
Oh, well, there isn't any big. Hey, that's the big book that was sitting under there. What I just showed you is what was sitting.
Mom, I said it's fine. Don't worry about it. Well, I'll do my spiel, and it'll be on this book, and that will be that. This is the second book in the series. This we actually bought a physical copy of. How I found Graham Hancock's theories is I, I looked up about the real Merlin in the Isle of Avalon, and I had never seen this National Geographic special that he talks about in the very end there. But I needed a basic idea of what Merlin's time would have looked like, because my one friend, who is Jehovah's Witness, kind of can't have magic in the my fictional story. So I said okay, and I accepted the challenge, and I've had fun putting in a more sciency Merlin, more realistic ever since. And I had totally forgot that this argument that I knew was taking place actually even existed till I found the second or third book in the series. If you know, tell me below. But this is the one we'll be reading next. Yeah. So it's a shame I didn't see the National Geographic special, but he sums it up rather nicely. And like I said, it's very concise, very to the point. If you think Arthur was a real king of the Britons, let me know in the comments. You can freely discuss it here. Please feel don't feel judged. I mean, I know now that it's a very interesting debate. It has dragged me down some interesting rabbit holes, all because I like King Arthur. That is one of the things that I wasn't willing to let go of when that time between childhood and adulthood progressed. Um, so again, good book. I don't do numbers for my book review. Call from spam named Anabai. Because I call from spam named Anabai. I feel that that would judge the author, and I don't want that. Um, so I'll just say it was a really really good book. You should purchase it as soon as possible. Not not the second book, but the first book, which is The Search for the Lost Tomb of King Arthur and the Real Isle of Avalon by Graham Hancock. Okay, did I get it right, Mom?
I don't know.
No, for the
For what?
for the one I just finished on Alexa.
I'd have to ask her. I don't know what the name is. Sorry.
I think I got it right. So, yeah, if you're like me, you'll definitely be into it. And that's I don't want to spoil too much, so how about I guess. I forgot to say like, comment, subscribe. And once again, the name of the book is
The Lost Tomb of King Arthur, The Search for Camelot in the Isle of Avalon.
Thank you, Mom.
You're welcome.
Okay, hope you enjoyed the video. I worked kind of hard on this one. The Arthur's real name is Owen Gwyn. I decided to say that at the very end here because I don't think it would be giving away anything in the book. Enjoy the book. Enjoy YouTube. Keep reading. Have a good